Relaxation is one step before Dhyan. One step before I can start going into Dhyan. Relax and let the mind flow and don't participate with it. This itself is Dhyan. So what we are going to try and do today is to try and understand what is Dhyan. So in the world, when we have to achieve something, whether a doctor is to operate on a patient, a driver is to drive a vehicle, a student has to study his exams, an engineer has to solve a problem on the shop floor, all this requires focus. These individuals and all of us in some way or the other are desiring something. So we are focusing our mind on some issue or the other. That is Dhyan. So mind becomes what it gets exposed to. If the mind is in a certain company, that's how the mind will become, if we allow ourselves to absorb that. This is what Guru Nanak in the Japji tells us about Suniye. Suniye, in my experience, meaning to absorb, to correlate and allow into our subconscious, which transforms our being. So when we expose our mind to some situation, some person, some experience, that's how the mind will become. Suniye dukh paap ka naas, Nanak bhagta sada vigas, Suniye dukh paap ka naas, being the ultimate way to channelize our mind. The mind can be free of dukh and paap, provided we've channelized the minds in the right direction. It's been exposed to the right thought process, to the right place of being. So, where do we all focus? There we go. And what our focus is, that we become. So if you look at it this way, our present state of our mind and our body and our soul, our spirit, everything. Spirit, of course, being unchanging. But what I am today is the sum total of the Dhyan which I have done in my past. Wherever my mind has traveled and absorbed, that has transformed me, that has exposed me, that has made me educated or uneducated, that has made me happy or unhappy. But my state of being today is related to where all my mind has traveled and what it all has been exposed to. So this is how potent Dhyan is. Dhyan actually transforms us and has the ability to change us, sometimes forever. So this is out of our free will. We focus our desires through our Dhyan in any direction. In the world paradigm, which is what I'm discussing as of now, wherever and whatever we desire, so our mind goes and becomes. And that's how the mind thus is flowing and channelizing us through Dhyan. I feel love for someone. My mind now starts flowing in that direction. My Dhyan goes in that direction. And this Dhyan impacts me as well as the person I'm focusing myself on. Often enough, telepathy we hear, and a person says, "How did you know? How did you call? I was thinking of you." That's how Dhyan is. So in the Gurbani we say, Ude udave sekosa, tis pache bachre charya, tin kavan chogave, kavan khilave, man mein simran karya. These birds have flown away. The children are left behind. Who is going to feed the children? Man mein simran karya. They are remembering these children in their mind. That's the Dhyan which nurtures life also. So this is one example of Dhyan. Whatever we have exposed ourselves to in our past makes our seed in our mind. It makes a place in our mind. And that's transforming us, starts changing us. This is about the world. But what about spirituality? What's the focus center of Dhyan in spirituality? Where does Dhyan go in the spiritual world? Now, if I stop dropping away my desires, if I stop my thought process, so let's go into our thought process. Let's go into what are our thoughts. So someone said, thoughts are like cycling. When we keep pedaling while cycling, the cycle moves. And if we stop pedaling, the cycle drops. We energize our own thoughts. Our thoughts come to us and we energize them. We own them up and we say, this is my thought. A thought came to me, say, this is an evil man. It's a thought. I owned it up and said, this is my thought. And now it's transformed me. But if a thought came to me, this is an evil person, and I let it go, I don't absorb it. I don't allow it to come within my thought process and influence me. The thought has come and it is gone. It has lost its potency. I don't charge this thought. So the thoughts in my mind are charged by me. If I do not charge my own thoughts, then the thoughts start to drop. And if I reach a state of mind where there are no thoughts and there are no desires, then I start moving towards the conscious Dhyan, what is available with me as it is. What is the source of my man is the man in focused vibrancy. It is in Dhyan by itself. So the natural state of the mind is Dhyan. We have disturbed the natural state by our own thoughts, desires, sanskars, and where all we have invested this Dhyan. Where all we have invested our mind, we fabricated it into small portions and broken up our Dhyan. So now we are distracted most of the time. Now mind starts wavering, and a wavering mind can't achieve much. The pure state of mind is Dhyan. This is something very important to understand. Like a piece of paper which is completely blank, it is as it was made. So, if the man is without thoughts, it is in the piece it was created, and its mind will be focused and in Dhyan. Not focusing on any object, not Dhyan of any desire, object, place or thing, but it is complete in its Dhyan. It doesn't need to have Dhyan of anything else. Here, the one who is doing the Dhyan is also lost. There is only Dhyan. A completely vibrant energy. We can call it consciousness. Dhyan is about non-doing, non-thinking, letting go. Just the opposite. So if I ever sit in Dhyan with the thought of, I have to do Dhyan, then I miss the point. Dhyan is my natural state. I have to stop thinking. I have to stop letting my mind get diverted into thoughts and desires and other issues. And it's not easy to do because that's the environment I'm used to. I'm used to being in the ego state of the mind where the thoughts are, the changing sphere of the mind, where the mind is constantly changing. I'm used to that. Now, since I'm used to that, I don't leave that environment easily. So it's not easy to do this. But if I learn how to watch my thoughts and not participate with them, like letting a river flow and watching the river, I understand that the river is not me. I am not getting carried away by the river anymore. So, watching the thoughts flow, let them come and go. I do not participate with my thoughts or energize them. Remember, I energize my thoughts. Then these thoughts will drop. Slowly they will drop. These thoughts are either coming from what I have put into my mind, or I have experienced, or what I have gone through. That's one way these thoughts are coming. Or they are coming from the collective consciousness. That's a possibility also. आते हैं गैब से मज़ामे ख्याल में, गालिब सरीर खामा नवाए सरोश है. Ghalib says, आते हैं गैब से, coming from the beyond. आते हैं गैब से मज़ामे मामले ख्याल में. In my thoughts come to me. Galib Sarire Kama. This sound being created by my pen, the body of my pen. Galib Sarire Kama Navaye Sarosh hai. This is his sound, not mine. So, this non-doing leads me to my Dhyan. Non-participation in my thoughts leads me to my inner Dhyan. And now, I don't identify myself with my thoughts. So the Dhyan is like a pond. Imagine a pond full of dust. And we allow the dust to settle. So before the dust settles, we can never see the floor of the pond. But if we allow the dust to settle, then we will see the pond floor. Just like that, when we allow the thoughts and desires to go away, we will see the peace, the energy, the vibrancy, the transcendence in the inner mind, which is hidden by these thoughts and all these desires which we have on the surface. We will find that which is Dhyan, that which is completely focused. So, this is something which I think we need to be aware of. We need to be aware we are not our thoughts. And the moment we know that, then we make a distance between the changing mind and ourselves. The changing mind goes away. We have a distance between that and us. We no longer are immersed in the ocean of the changing mind and lost in our own thoughts. So Dhyan is our natural state of being within our mind, focused and completely full of consciousness and energy. We have diverted ourselves from it by our thoughts, desires, and the worldly activities which we do. It may be time for all of us to explore this inner Dhyan and find our peace, love, and our home. So some tips about Dhyan. We are always looking at the Nirakar. The formless is the energy. Remember, the formless is true. The form is never true. Jo dise so kale karna. Whatever we see will end in time. So the physical is not sada, it's not forever. And it is not stable, it's not constant. It's ever changing and it is transient. The only one thing which is permanent in this universe is the Nirakar, the creator who created the universe. The creation is a moving, constant, changing phenomena. That's why in the state of being, we get more energized. Being is when we don't do. So, in the beginning, when I start to enter this process of Dhyan, I need to start relaxing. Relaxation is one step before Dhyan. One step before I can start going into Dhyan. Relax and let the mind flow and don't participate with it. This itself is Dhyan. Don't focus on any object, place or thing. If anybody teaches you to focus on a pencil or a dot, then you are making your mind more gross, less subtle. Then it will move in the opposite direction, in the worldly plane. Then your whole sanskar changes where you are trying to go. Our thoughts are not us. This is an important lesson to learn. And the moment I've learned this, I've actually gone into Dhyan. When I experience this, the thought mind is the changing mind. I of course need to use thoughts, but here I'm getting used by thoughts because I have lost my identity and I'm flowing in these thoughts and they influence me without my knowing where they're taking me. I will use thoughts at my will after I've created a distance between me and my thoughts. So my friends, the mind which is now at rest, which has found Dhyan, which has found stability, which has found Ekagarpan, is the mind which is called the Surt. Now we will call it the Surt. Surt is the mind which now has the energy of Dhyan, like a fuel in a rocket, to travel to its spiritual journey. This Dhyan will now help us transcend our own aberrations and move towards the realm of spirituality. And Dhyan is a very important tool in that. It's not everything, but it's an important tool, and it's an important source to have within ourselves. So the Dhyan will take us home to our inner spirituality only when we have a pure state of mind. What do I mean by impure? Any direction which is other than the direction of the spirit is impure. Any other ambition will drive us towards the worldly affairs and then go on a separate journey. But this is a journey of love, the journey of spirit, the journey into the realm of our own Creator, which is a potential of the human soul, of the human spirit, of the human birth. This is one chance. Bhai prapat manukh de huriya, gobind milan ki eh teri variya. This is your variya, this is your chance. This is our chance to move towards our inner spirituality. It's only available to the human body, to the human birth, and it is a potential in all of us. So let's all journey towards our inner Dhyan and try and strive towards this inner spirituality, move towards this realm of the spirit. How we do that, we will discuss it separately. But then, today we have talked about Dhyan and understood the mind and the Dhyan in the spiritual realm. Thank you.